firsthand how we operate. We hope to see you soon.
Jessup Premium Storage, 1455 South 1st Street is Jessup's best place to store your valuables. Whether it's furniture between moves or just a place for the overload, call Jessup Premium Storage at 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jessup Premium Storage units are indoors, climate controlled, and they have 24-hour surveillance and on-site management. You have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access to your unit. Sizes range from 5x5 to 10x25. They also have outside covered and uncovered spaces available for vehicles, boats, trailers, and RVs. Jessup Premium Storage on the Waycross Highway in Jessup.
The winter clearance event is going on now at Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. Get up to $10,000 off new 2016 F-150s and up to $10,000 off 2017 Expeditions. Plus 0% financing. Credit problems are no problem at Mike Birch. Our finance department is ready to put you in a new car for the new year. We've got a huge selection of pre-owned inventory with select vehicles qualifying for lifetime powertrain warranty. Come see them at Mike Birch Ford or 24/7 at MikeBirchFordBlackshear.com.
The winter clearance event has started at Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. We're overstocked on new vehicles, huge savings, and top dollar for your trade. Right now, up to $10,000 off remaining 2016 F-150, $10,000 off 2017 Expeditions, and 0% financing. Plus our free lifetime powertrain warranty on all new vehicles. Stop the search. Call Mike Birch, 912-449-4446 or 24/7 at MikeBirchFordBlackshear.com. 0% financing with approved credit. See dealer for details.
And good morning. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO-FM in Jessup, 105.5 your FM dial, 9 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Friday morning, 24th day of February. Butch Hubbard here with you on the Big Dog. We're looking for mostly sunny skies today. High today near 82. High today near 82. The autumn level is at 9.1 and just barely falling. And currently here in southeast Georgia, we have 62 degrees. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Republic Services, and by Jessup Premium Stores located out here on the Waycross Highway. And Bob, we got a couple of special guests in this morning.
I got two ladies that I'm very familiar with over the years. They've been very helpful. They've got big jobs in Wayne County, but we're here to discuss a topic that we had on local news a couple weeks ago, that they're talking about consolidating all the voting precincts into one precinct on Election Day to save money. Still going to have the 3 weeks of early voting at the courthouse, but Kay Arnold, who is the chief registrar in Wayne County, in the studios with us, and our probate judge, Tammy Thornton, in the studios to talk about how this came about, what the discussion is, and the big meeting on March the 7th where they'll officially make the decision. Is that right, Kay? Well, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Over the years, we have noticed that people are taking advantage of the early voting. This past election in November, the presidential election, we had the largest turnout. And there were over 59% of the votes cast on election were with early voting with us with a paper ballot or voting in person. And looking at that, even some of the precincts had 67% that came and voted early. And when you look at that and opening up 15 precincts, it does not seem feasible to have polling places open where 50% of the people have already voted. This is not new as far as consolidation. About 2013, when the county administrator, Jason Tinsley, was here with us, he contacted Tammy and myself and asked us to go out to Omaha Tech Center, and he wanted us to view the Polytech Center for a possible future voting place. And so that was the reason for that, is because of the cost of holding an election. And so we did go out there, and it's a wonderful building, a beautiful place. They had all the amenities of a perfect polling place. So as we viewed it, we talked with Mr. Lonnie Roberts, and he so graciously offered us this precinct to have as a polling place. It had a large parking lot, a drive-through with a pickup or drop-off. It had handicap accessibility, and when you went in the front of it, there was a waiting room if a voter took someone there that needed to wait on them while they voted. It was just perfect. Restrooms, and then when you went into the place where you would have the election, it's a big voting place. It was a good flow through with traffic. So we were just blessed to think that this was offered to us as a polling place. We discussed it, and we talked about it, and even the Commissioner Book Thomas took us to his church, Bennett Union, and we were going to look at that social hall for a polling place, and that week we did that. But in 2013, redistricting was going on, and redistricting is something that has to be done, and it's done every 10 years. So at that point, we had to put this consolidation project on the back burner because this had to be done. And then the county called for a spot selection, so you have to have all records cleared 60 days prior to an election. So with that being said, 2013 went by, then 2014 came about, and we had to finish with the city redistricting. So that took part of that. But the state really asked counties to refrain from making any major changes in a precinct or merging anything because of them dealing with federal and state candidates. Then you're getting ready for your primaries in general. So we just basically put it on the back burner, and it was not, brought back forward. So as years went by, we kept looking and seeing the numbers increase of early voting. So this past election, when we looked at the numbers, we saw that now was the time maybe that we need to revisit this. And so this is where we are today. It's we met with the board, and they agreed with that, and we contacted Tammy, the election superintendent, and she agreed that now was the time to do this. And so we set up meetings with Mr. Smart and the county attorney and Amanda, the clerk, and we hashed over what we thought would be best for the county. And the main thing is to save taxpayers' dollars. And so we did make contact with, which is Coastal Pines now, and they said the offer was still good, and we count that as a blessing. And so we feel real good about this idea, and we feel that it's going to work well. Other counties are doing this. It's not new. This has been going on for about 8 years, and we've got many counties that we've made contact with that has more voters than we do, and it's working real well with them. But I'm going to let Tammy tell you the other reasons on her part on Election Day that this will be a good idea.
Okay, I just want to update people just tuning in. Again, we got Kay Arnold and Tammy Thornton, the probate judge, and we're talking about possible consolidation of all the voting precincts into one precinct at Coastal Pines Civil Conference on Election Day, which would be this November, would be the first time being effect. But Tammy, probate judge, go ahead.
Bob, as you know, we have 15 precincts in the county. The buildings, a lot of them need a lot of repair. The estimate begins at $14,000 and above. Mr. Luther Smart, the county administrator, had some of the county workers to go out and take a look at the buildings. We do have a lot of expense to repair them. Also, it's 175 miles around the county to all the precincts. It takes 2.5 hours. Sometimes when we have issues to arise, it takes a little while for me to get out there and take care of it. It would be a lot more convenient to have them in one polling place so that Kay and I and Ed Whitten, who is the IT guy with the county and also helps me with elections, all three of us could be at that one location during Election Day. I think it would be less confusing for the voters so that they could, on Election Day, if they call and they don't know where to go and vote, then you can just tell them, out Coastal Pines. That's where you go on the Election Day. The early voting is a big trend. I think when I look back at the totals in 2011, it was around 19%, and we're up to last election was 58.8%. Is that right, Kay? Yeah. And so everyone is really taking advantage of early voting. In November, the last election that we held, we paid out over $11,000 just in salaries for poll workers, which was around 75 poll workers. I have wonderful poll workers that have been with the county since I started in '83, and but a lot of them have expressed that they would like to maybe retire, and it takes a while to get them trained, and there's a lot of legal concerns even with the poll workers that, they have to know the law, and it takes a while to get them trained. So we're looking at reducing the number of the poll workers that we use. That would be cost effective also. But, the county even offered to have transit to go out and to provide transportation at no charge to have the people brought to the polling place on the day of election. You would just have to call the county the day before. It's not our intention to discourage the voters in Wayne County not to participate or to vote, because, you know, that's my job, is to make sure everyone is comfortable and that they will go vote. As much time and effort goes into an election, and you know, Bob, you're there with us on the night of election, and we want everyone to vote and to feel comfortable with voting. And I told the girls at the office when we were first talking about this, I know myself, if I'm not real sure about something, I'm just, you know, you just stay away. And that's not our intention. We even made arrangements. I talked to the county about having people there with golf carts for people that, you know, if they feel like they're going to have to walk a long ways, there'll be a shuttle type service picking them up, taking them to the door. But we're trying to make it just as convenient as possible.
And also, we'll have a Saturday voting too. You know, we'll see how that works out. If people can't, you know, come early vote, or if they can't get to the polls on election day, that we will have an extra Saturday for people to vote.
There's normally a Saturday in that 3-week
Well,
voting
if it's
process.
a federal candidate on the ballot, you will. But if there's not a federal candidate, we will still offer that Saturday just to see how it works out for a few years if this passes.
So basically, this is a cost savings device. You know, like I said, it's always about the dollars and cents. And plus, it's convenience. And like I said, the thing is, what you're seeing is the numbers have just skyrocketed with the early voting. Back when it first started, like I said, 18%. Now it's up over 50-some, 59, almost 60% of people taking advantage of the early voting. And we saw it in this last presidential election. Turnout was very high in Wayne County, but most people took the opportunity to vote early with the 3-week voting process. So it sounds good, but of course, we on the news, the press release you sent us, if anybody objects to this, they need to voice their objection now, and they have up until March the 7th to do that. And they should do how they do that again in writing or telephone calls. Explain that. So if someone's out there and has an objection to this, those objections need to be in by the 7th of March. Is that correct?
The 7th of March at 2 p.m. is what the legal notice
has. And where they need to send that to?
The Wayne County Probate Court. They can either drop it by my office or mail it, 359 East Walnut Street, and just outline in the objection why they feel like that they're not in favor of that. And we really need those in. So far, I have not received one.
Right, it's been publicized in the paper, it's been on the radio several days,
That's right.
So far no one's objected.
No one has filed an objection.
Everybody seems like this would be a good idea for the county to save money, have one polling place. As you mentioned, Coastal Pines Technical College is a beautiful place to go. It's handicap accessible, so, and everything else.
Also, I like to say that, you know, you have 3 options when you go to vote on election day. Every election, you can go vote to your polling place on election day, or you can go vote early with us, or you can cast an absentee ballot, and that's plumb simple. You can request that ballot 45 days in advance with our office, and you can keep that ballot up till election day at 7 o'clock. Then you have the option of voting it, you know, at your leisure. You can research the candidates or the questions that's on the ballot. And we have a courtesy list that if you're 67 years of age or older or disabled, if you mark on the application that you want to receive an automatic ballot, you fill out one request, and then you get a ballot for each election in that year. But every year you have to start over. But if you want to be on our courtesy list, we initiate the absentee application for you to remind you that we're fixing to have elections. So voters do have an option, you know, when it comes to vote. And we do know if we do consolidate that, you know, it's going to inconvenience someone. Of course, everyone's going to have to make a change because they'll be going to a different polling place. And some, you know, won't affect as much. So we hope that each of our voters will, you know, think about their right to vote and how important that is, and make a choice of how they'd like to cast that vote. And if we can help them in any way with, you know, answering questions, getting them an absentee ballot, or even, you know, giving them the website to where they can download, you know, we're there to serve them, and we welcome, you know, them to give us a call.
And the meeting's March 7th. Who's going to make the final decision? The commissioners? Is that who makes the final decision on this? Who's making the decision on March the 7th at the meeting?
Probably the decision will not be made until, I think it's on Friday, The 10th, and the Board of Registrars and myself will take a vote.
You want to take the vote. So that's
Yes.
the public meeting on the 7th.
Mhm.
After you hear from everybody, then you'll make the decision on March the 10th whether this is going to go forward in November or not.
That is correct.
So again, right now it's just getting the information out. The plan is to consolidate everything, one voting precinct, still have the 3 weeks voting early at the courthouse, possible Saturday as well. And like I said, absentee ballots still available as well. Give them the numbers to call if they need to get in touch with either one of you ladies.
Okay, my office is, 427-5950.
Okay.
And the probate court is 427-5940.
Right.
And also, Bob, I'd like to say that you know this on election night because you're always up there with us, trying to get the results in and get them out as quick as possible. That's another plus. We'll be there to go ahead and close the touchscreen machines out, bring the cards on up and get them uploaded and get the results out quickly. Another
This should be, if it goes this way, it should be a lot quicker process because, like I said, on election night, you wait for those poll workers to get there. And like I said, some of those people, and the way the voting goes, for people who may not know, the polls close at 7, but the law is if you're in line by 7, you get an opportunity to vote. So sometimes those lines are long, and sometimes polling places really don't close till 7:10, 7:15, sometimes 7:30, depends on who's running for what office. So this way, everything's at one location. As soon as the last person votes, as soon as the polling place closes down, the results should come in very quickly.
That's right. They will be very quickly.
Jonathan's going to love that.
Yeah. And also, it'll be easier on the sheriff's office because Sheriff Carter has always been very good lending his deputies to us to run errands, to help out, and they're always shorthanded also. So to be able just to go to one vote center or precinct would be ideal for the sheriff's office.
Right. And it's also going to be beneficial for you because I said at all these 15 different polling places, unfortunately, things do happen. Like I said, they have these laws where you can't politic at certain places, and I know over the years that you've gotten calls like so-and-so's, they're breaking law, and you have to send people out there.
That's
so this will be a lot better for your staff because there's only one polling place. So if something happens, there's only one place to go. You don't have 15 places to go. So there's a lot of advantages for just consolidating it to just one location.
Yes, a lot of advantages.
Our machines are getting really old too, and they may have to be replaced. And Tammy can tell you the expense of those machines.
No doubt.
They're very expensive. And they rolled out in 2000. We move them around a lot. We've been very fortunate that that they do hold up as well as they do. But that's another consideration. I have over 60 touchscreen machines, but some of them will have to have repairs, and it's just so much. It's just be a lot better for the voters.
It seems like a no-brainer, but like I said, the word is being out there. So again, but if somebody does object, there is a process to object. Like I said, you're taking phone calls, letters, and again, that meeting is on March the 7th. What day is that? March 7th. Do you know what day that is?
Tuesday.
The Tuesday. At the County Commissioners Meeting Room at 7 p.m.
That is correct. We're presenting a presentation to the school board next Tuesday, and also to the county commissioners at their meeting on March the 6th. And then we have the public meeting on that
March the
Tuesday.
7th.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody's sending it in by mail or by phone, you want it in by 2 o'clock that day, March the 7th.
2 o'clock on March the 7th. That is correct. One more thing, Bob. We did consider consolidating to 5 precincts to begin with, but the way the lines are drawn and the way the voters are, it would still be very difficult to have locations, vote centers for them, which is what we call now precincts, because they're kind of sporadic the way they are. So we just could not find buildings that were feasible for that, and due to the amount of repairs that need to be done, it just would be better to go to one place.
Well, again, it's a big process anytime there's an election. I said I've worked with you 2 ladies for many years. Won't tell how many. So you've been very helpful. Like I said, Kay will always call in every night and tell us how many. We get the daily vote count every day while the election's going. Which is helpful. Let people know that. I appreciate that. And like I said, I've been there every election day. Your staff is very gracious to give me a location to set up, and we appreciate all the help throughout the years. So we'll continue to get this message out. Any final things you need to say, or?
No, we just don't want to discourage anybody to vote because they do have the three options. And I did want to say with the early voting that we feel like 98% of people that are out in rural areas do come to town, once a month or, several times maybe to buy groceries or shop or go to a doctor visit or something in that order or come out to eat. That, they would, if this is an inconvenience for them, that they would, stop by the courthouse and cast an early vote at that time. We do not want to disenfranchise anybody's right to vote because they do have the options, and we, welcome them at our office. We'd love to, meet new voters if, they want to come vote early with us. And if they have any questions, please give us a call and let us help, because that's what we're there for, to help you cast your vote in any way that we can. And we're here to serve.
Yeah,
yes.
Like I said, the bottom line, this in no way is trying to discourage anybody from voting, because we always encourage everybody to get out and vote.
Right.
Like I said, we emphasize it time and time again, please exercise your right to vote. We talk about how important it is that people in America have that right to vote, where so many people in other countries don't have the right to vote. People die for your right to vote. It's a very important part of American life. So again, we stress and encourage everybody to please get out and vote. I mean, we get discouraged when we see that only 25 or 30% of people vote to make decisions that affect 100% of the people. So we've always encouraged, and I know you see people encourage everybody to get out and vote as well. So this in no way is trying to discourage anybody out there in Wayne County from voting. This is just a cost-effective means. With the way things have evolved with early voting, it just seems logical that this is a smart economic move for Wayne County. And like I said, with this cost of machines, cost of poll workers, cost of everything, it just seems like a logical, smart decision to consolidate into one precinct.
And if you object, please write a notice and send it to my office. Otherwise, we will not know how you feel. And we do respect the opinion of the public, the voters. So please do not hesitate to contact me or Kay. But we have to have something filed in writing. But please do not be afraid to express your opinion.
Right, exactly.
It's not our intention
that's what America's all about.
That's right.
We want to hear all thoughts, all opinions. That's what this process is about up to March the 7th. And then you'll have the public meeting on March the 7th as well. If you object, come and express your opinion there, and you'll listen to everybody and then make a decision after that on the 10th of March.
That's correct.
Okay, this election's coming up in November. I said we've got the general election, and the big thing on the agenda, or on the ballot, is going to be the SPLOST referendum that the county and city are working together. And I know they got a retreat coming up where they're going to put the exact items of what the money will go for. And they talked about that yesterday at the state of the county, how important that SPLOST is. And I mean, the mayor of Odom, Brian Nipper, and Mayor Scriven Milk before yet, and the county commission chair Mike Roberts, and even Mayor David O'Cree talks about how important that SPLOST money is for a county of our size, because without that money rolling in, a lot of things can't be done. So that'll be on the ballot in November. We'll hear more about that push and then the general election. But again, thanks to you ladies. Like I said, for many years, you've been very, very helpful to us and getting the information out. And again, this is another information that needs to be out. And again, if anybody has any concerns, any comments, then you can mail them to your lady's office or call those numbers. You have up until March the 7th at 2 p.m. to get your opinions in.
That is correct, Bob.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, the world famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, by Republic Services, and by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. 8:31 on this Friday morning, 24th day of February. You're listening to WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio. Let's check in the latest news from Fox News Radio.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The nation's largest gathering of conservatives will hear this morning from a president who had a tough time